What is going on, guys? This is Jagonal back again with another video, and today I wanted to talk about why I think the EA College Football 25 video game that we're getting in a few weeks could be the savior of the Madden franchise. Yes, why I think it will save Madden. That might be a hot take, or many of you guys might agree. I know a lot of people who might comment here saying, who gives a damn about Madden? Which I will say, it is probably in our best interest that Madden succeeds as a franchise. Because, let's be real, there are more NFL fans than there are college football fans. Even though EA College Football 25 has a lot of hype, I still think Madden's going to sell better. And especially if we get gameplay that, like, if Madden made a lot of changes that are, like, similar to what college football has, I'll be honest, like, Madden might be going in the right direction. But I don't really want to talk about that stuff yet because we haven't gotten any gameplay. We haven't even got the sizzle trailer yet. We just got the cover. Christian McCaffrey on the cover. I will say, this is a good move. Put a running back on the cover. We love to see it. It's always been quarterbacks. Let's have a running back. Running backs matter. Even though they may not get paid that much, they do matter. They are important for the game. But I just think that small move is like, it's a symbolic move that, okay, maybe they're listening to their fans potentially. Okay, whatever. So I want to kind of break this up into a few parts. The first part, I want to talk about the dark times of the sports gaming industry, or really the football gaming industry, because I do want to kind of talk a little bit about 2K, because they're kind of in here a little bit as well. They are, they were players in the beginning, and they still are players now, obviously, with the NBA 2K franchise that they're still making to this day, as well as any of their other games that they make. So I will say, I wish I was playing video games when we were in the golden era of sports gaming, which I would say was, like, from what I've heard, like 2002, 2003 to like 2006. That was like the golden era, or 2005 was a golden era of these video games. This is when we had multiple college football games, multiple NFL games. And what I mean by multiple, I mean like multiple dev teams, like from different companies were making these games. And that was, I think, the best part about it, because you were able to buy a game that suited your your play style, or if it was a gameplay thing that you liked based on one of these games, you could pick that, because each game, each developer had their own way of making a football game. There is no textbook way to make a football game. I know a lot of people think, oh, the All-Pro Football 2K game is the best game ever and has the best gameplay. And it might, but also it may not just be, it might just be the best, but it may not be like the one that everyone wants to play. It might be the most accurate when it comes to simulation football, but some people may want something a little bit different. So every other developer's spin on it, I think, is a good thing, because if it sucks, people don't buy it, and it is what it is. But if people like it, people buy it, and then it grows and all that great stuff. So, and that's how I think, like, the NCAA franchise ended up just shrinking to the EA one, because I will say EA creating their NCAA football franchise, it was pretty good. I mean, everyone says, like, NCAA 06 is the greatest, college football game of all time. And I have played it. It's pretty incredible, especially for it being almost 20 years old. That's pretty incredible. But let's talk about around the 2005 era, because this is when we were at the peak of the dev wars when it comes to these games, because 2K, I think, released EA or ESPN NFL 2K5, and then I think they released it for $20. And then EA had to slash their prices to like $30 so that they wouldn't just get completely destroyed in the market. And the NFL saw this and realized, we can't make enough money. We could rather just pick one of these devs and charge them $50 or $60 and make more money. So why don't we just do that? And that's what happened. So I will say, if 2K didn't try to like lowball the consumer, or I wouldn't say lowball, I guess lowball the NFL with their game, there could still be a scenario where we still have multiple devs for the NFL. Because it's not like it's a common practice, because I think the NBA allowed like EA and 2K to make their game. Because here's the thing, they'll license it out as long as you're paying for it. So if they're going to pay for it and they're getting the royalties, they aren't going to care. But obviously once it started to affect the bottom line, that's when they was like, all right, we're just going to sell the exclusive license, and then that's it. So they basically created a monopoly, and EA won the bidding war. And then you could almost see like a drop. But even though the Madden games kind of had a little bit, they kind of stagnated a little bit over the next few years, it was really when Madden 13 came out was when everything changed, because they decided to rebuild the game from the ground up, and they went in a completely different direction. They were really focused on the online gaming scene, and instead of focusing on the offline, the franchise mode, the offline modes that matter, the career modes are like, well, no, online gaming is the future. They created connected careers. They basically put superstar mode and franchise mode into this connected careers mode, removed a whole bunch of features, like created team was removed. There's a whole list. I'm summarizing Soft Drink TV's video, so go watch his video. I will say that. I'm not gonna like plagiarize his stuff anymore. He did an excellent job. I want to give the credit where it's due. And there's also other YouTubers that I watch, and I will link another video that I watched of a YouTuber going through all the games over like the past like 20 years, and you can literally see how the game is starting to fall off. And I've noticed that Madden 13 is when that fall off occurs. So I will put those credits in videos that you should watch before continuing this video, because they're very deep dive videos. So I will kind of cut it there. Basically, Madden started to fall off around Madden 13. But you know what else was happening around that time? This is when all these lawsuits were going up against the NCAA because they weren't paying athletes for using their likeness. And I know a lot of people want to give a bunch of crap to Ed O'Bannon for ruining the NCAA franchise and getting it removed and no longer could make the game. But to be fair, he had, like, it made, like, I would do the same thing. If someone puts me in a game, if I'm good enough to be put into a video game and they're not paying me for it, that's kind of BS. And I know a lot of people are like, whoa, it's just cool to be in a game. Until you realize the people who are making that game are making millions of dollars off of it, and you're not seeing a single cent. That's where it's like, okay, that's kind of messed up. So because of that, that's where things kind of fell apart. But the thing is, it still wasn't EA's fault. It is the NCAA's fault. They suck. I hate the NCAA. They haven't done anything to me. I was never an athlete. I was never good enough or athletic enough to be an athlete. But I couldn't imagine having to deal with that terrible organization that is the NCAA. They realize we don't want to pay players, or we don't want to consider them employees, and that's still a thing that's happening. EA was ready to pay the players. They were ready to go. NCAA was like, nope, and because of that, we're taking the license away. And when the NCAA took the license away, that was basically the end of the NCAA football games. I know there was supposed to be like a EA College Ball 15 that was supposed to be really customizable. I'm assuming it was just going to be like Team Builder on steroids, where they just, hey, do whatever you want. But I think they realized that that game was probably not going to sell well, and I wish we got that game just for like being able to play it like now and stuff. But thank God we got the College Football Revamp mod. The Revamp team is awesome, and I'm glad I'm able to play it on my emulator, but not everyone can do that. So imagine if that game came out and you were still able to customize the game to this day. We were so close, but EA realized they weren't gonna make the money from the game, because like the NCAA franchise was already kind of falling off in terms of sales, and now they're not gonna have any college names, not conferences, none of these things, all this stuff. It was just gonna be a very generic game. Yeah, I get why they pulled the plug, and I wish they didn't, but like I get it, because as much as like the game would have been great, it would kind of break the simulation. Like obviously if I played as the Tallahassee, you know, whatever, but it's not Florida State University, it still won't be the same. So I get why they did it from a business perspective, but it does suck because that was the last game that's available. Obviously, we're getting a new one in a few weeks, but yeah, so, and ever since then, Madden has been kind of on a downward trajectory. They really focused on doing the Ultimate Team, and really, they just didn't care about developing the game. Because I think the Ultimate Team, like the people, the employees, there's not many employees you need for Ultimate Team, because you're not really, I will say the work they're doing is probably great. I've seen all this stuff, or I haven't seen any of the stuff they do, but I'm sure they put a lot of good work in there. But like, you don't need that big of a team to run Ultimate Team. So they realize, wait, this is a, you know, a branch of our game that's going to be making us so much money. And this is where it really starts to fall apart, because it's like, I'd rather just, they realize, oh, we can just keep releasing this game with software, or basically with roster updates, and just keep making money, because every year there's a new Ultimate Team, and I'm sure they always cook up some different themes and different promotions and stuff. I'm sure they are really good at the marketing. As someone who studied marketing in college, I will say the way that they do it, I mean, the way people are still buying and doing Ultimate Team, it just makes sense from a business perspective, because EA is making way more than the $60, $70 that they're making, because people can just buy packs and get their teams to the best overall. And then the pay to win factor becomes the meta for these games. And this is where 2K comes back in, because everyone wants to say, why doesn't 2K just make an NFL game? Give the license back to 2K. And let's say EA doesn't get the license again and they give it to 2K. I still think that 2K would make a game that's just the same in terms of like Madden when it comes to its like online transactions, the microtransactions. That's what I was trying to say. Because look at NBA 2K. Have you looked at their My Player or their My Career? Like, I've seen like YouTubers saying they have to spend $70 on top of the game they just spent $70 to get their player to like an 80 or 90 overall. And that's just so that they can like play competitively and actually like try to win, because there's gonna be people that spend even more money to get to like a 99 or whatever. I haven't played 2K, so I quote, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, you have to spend the VC to upgrade your player. Imagine if they had the NFL license. I'm sure they would do the same thing for their career mode if they were able to do that. I'm sure, I will say, 2K has done really well with a lot of their depth and like their franchise mode, whatever I guess that's what it's called, their season modes that they have over there. And I do think 2K could make a good football game, but to say that it would be like the old 2K games, like it would be in the golden era before microtransactions, come on. And I'm also not I understand microtransactions. I know it's an easy thing to hate, but I get it. Like, there's like the Fortnite model where everything is just a cosmetic skin. I think I'm not against that at all, because if you want to put in some, really exclusive DLC that only a few people would like, but at least allows them to pay for the devs to put it in the game, and the people who like it will pay for it, then you know what? That's fine. But when you put stuff in that makes it a competitive advantage, that's where you lose me. Imagine if Ultimate Team didn't have like a way to buy packs, and everything was just grind. You do your challenges, or you win games and you get packs. That mode would be awesome. I still would probably suck and be really bad at it, but it still would be at least fun. But the thing is that that's not the case. The case is, if you want to be successful from the start, you have to stay ahead of the curve every week when they drop these new promotions. Either do all the challenges or spend money, which is, that's the thing. And I will say Madden has done a little bit better when it comes to getting like packs and stuff. Like, I decided to play Madden 24's like Ultimate Team, and it's pretty easy to get like stuff, like a lot of coins and stuff easily just by doing challenges. But I best believe if I was trying to do that during like, the peak of Ultimate Team, because it's kind of the dead period now, that wouldn't have happened. So to say that we were in an era of it's all microtransactions and nothing really matters for the offline features. All it matters is how can we make the online as competitive as possible, because once you make it competitive and add a money component to make you better, people are going to spend money to be better. That's just how it works. I used to play on Minecraft servers where people would spend $200 just to get an opportunity to fly, and people would just do it like without a doubt. Like they didn't even think about it. They knew they needed to do it because that's how they could be successful in the game. The pay to win factor is a thing, and they were capitalizing on it. But then people started to realize the community was realizing they weren't updating the game at all. And I think it was like Madden 21 when they like dropped like a paragraph talking about franchise mode, and people flipped their they flipped out saying, what the heck are they doing to Madden franchise? Basically not doing anything. And then I think the whole trend of fix Madden franchise came out, and Madden had to come out and say like, wait, we care about Madden franchise. We're gonna release an update and then we'll fix it next year. You could definitely tell they were like, wait, people are actually upset now. The community was finally responding, and I will say that was rock bottom. That was a rock bottom for Madden, because the fact that the devs tried to get away with giving franchise mode a paragraph just shows the direction that EA was in at the time. They realized that they could just keep releasing really small updates. I'm sure the devs that were working on like gameplay were probably putting as much effort as possible, because the gameplay was changing and all that stuff, and they were updating and optimizing for Frostbite. But the people that were working on franchise mode, or the team, this could be as much as like EA at the top not giving the team that was working on franchise mode enough resources. There might have been one guy working on franchise mode, and he was like, I can't do all this stuff. I can only do one thing or whatever. So that was really when things started to fall apart. And it seemed like from then there was a glimpse of hope. And around that time was when the NIL stuff was happening, and that's when they decided to reboot the AAA college football game, and everything at that point was, I think, going in a trending up slightly. I wouldn't say it was going up high. It's like a 1 degree, going up 1 degree, slightly going up. And obviously people were really excited about this game. Now, I think within a year they delayed the college football game to a few weeks from now, which I will say I'm glad they did. Now, obviously I would love to play it last year, but if the game was going to be a buggy mess and wasn't ready, then that I think would have killed Madden, and I think, or EA, because EA realized, oh crap, like this is kind of a way for us to maybe right our wrongs. And just seeing all the information that's come out about EA College Football 25, it seems like they are trying their best not to screw up this game. I think the first thing that was a good sign was developing it only for the current gen consoles. I say current gen because the series consoles for Xbox and PS5 have been out for a few years. I know they're expensive. I get it, like having to buy a new console every few years. I get it. I'm gonna have to buy an Xbox because I've been a PC gamer forever. But developing for the current gen and not having to develop for the last gen, it allows you to use the full resources of these consoles, and I think that's where it allowed them to bring in a lot of these gameplay features that I think may have been limited, as well as bring in other features that might have been limited by that. It kind of gives them a lot more wiggle room to work on this game. So I think that was a huge sign. And then also the fact is that they were building this game from the ground up. It was like the Madden 13. They rebuilt the game from scratch, except this time they're doing a college game. They're building it up from scratch. Obviously they're using Frostbite and stuff, and they're using some Madden things, but you can tell based off of like the gameplay and other things, this game is not a Madden reskin. Like there are similar things from Madden. Of course they're going to use similar things, because why wouldn't they? It would be stupid to just completely ignore like another football game that you're making and not use really like similar assets. I mean, they're both football games. Come on, let's be real. But you could tell that they wanted to rebuild this game from the ground up. I think it's almost like it's going to be in reverse going in the future, because how it worked in the past was Madden would release these new, like the new engine, and then the next year Madden gets it. And I think the way it goes now is it goes the FIFA, or I guess it's FC now. FC gets the newest features, like in terms of like engines and gameplay. Then it gets passed down to Madden. Then it would get passed down to NCAA. Now I think it's probably going to be FC and then college football and then Madden. I do think eventually they'll be on the same playing field, but the fact is, since they were able to develop a football game from scratch, they can build up this EA college football game in the background without having to worry about developing another college football game every year. Because here's the thing, guys, they don't rebuild Madden every year. They just, they use the same base code and change things up, obviously, update things, add new features, remove some things, all that stuff. But they don't rebuild the game every year. So I feel like what they're doing now is that, I could be wrong based on the gameplay, I think that Madden 25 might be kind of built on the same frame that College Football 25 is built on, and then they're basically just gonna be sharing it. And we'll see based on how they do it. Like, if there's a lot of similar systems in College Football 25 there in Madden, that just shows that's the case. Like, I don't know if wear and tear is gonna be in Madden 25, or because I mean, to be fair, like, wear and tear, as much as that, like, I do think that's a very valid thing that still happens in football. I think that could be something that could happen in Madden 25. But maybe it could also be something that they're going to test in EA College Football 25. And then if it works, they bring it to Madden. Because Madden is still going to be the game that sells more copies in the end. I still think Madden 25 will sell more copies than EA College Football 25. As much as people will be upset about that, I just think that's the facts. Because not everyone's a college football fan, but there's a lot more NFL fans. And there's a lot of casuals, let's be honest, they'll just buy the newest Madden game. And I think this EA College Football 25 game will sell the best out of every college football game ever, to be honest. I mean, it's been 10 years. Of course it's going to sell really well, and I do think it has a high, potential. If this game is hit out of the park, people are going to start getting a little bit more confidence, because the common criticism for EA College Football 25 was it's a Madden reskin. That animation's in Madden, because Madden was being hated so much because it was being neglected, and a lot of the movements were just, it was animation based, not physics based, stuff like that. People were finding excuses to hate on Madden, and honestly, it was very justified. It is a popular opinion now to hate on Madden, to be honest. And I agree, because Madden absolutely deserves a criticism. I didn't really talk about gameplay that much, but yeah, the gameplay has been very questionable. I mean, it hasn't been the same. I mean, when gameplay from 10 years ago is better than the current game, that shows something's not okay. So the fact that the common criticism was it's a Madden reskin, it shows that Madden had such a low perception that, hopefully that if, this game is really well, then and also if Madden kind of builds off of what EA College Football is doing, then I do think it can kind of create a resurgence for Madden in terms of allowing it to grow and kind of rename itself based off of what EA College Football 25 can do. Now, I'm not sure if all of these changes will happen in Madden 25, but I know I have a high probability that if EA College Football 25 hits it out of the park, does really well in terms of sales, it also makes a lot of money with like Ultimate Team and stuff, best believe they're going to try to bring that model over to Madden, because if it works on college, it could absolutely work on the NFL just because of the brand. So that's really my thoughts. I really think that EA College Football 25 has a chance to redefine the Madden franchise, because I am someone that wants Madden to be a good game. I probably won't play it as much, but like I do think, or I may not even play it at all, but there's still people out there that prefer NFL over college. So those people deserve a good football game too. They shouldn't have to just play college football and just deal with it, even if it's a great game. So if EA College Football 25 really knocks it out of the park, we then can say, you know what? I'm hoping that Madden 25 is an EA College Football reskin. That's what I would want. That would be the ultimate Uno reverse card. Or maybe if it's not Madden 25 and it shows some, potential, maybe Madden 26. Let's hope that it's a college football reskin. Just because, college football knocked out of the park. Again, if EA College Football 25 is a disappointment, which I'm hoping it's not, just based off what I've heard, it's fun, but I think just once we all play the game and all that, if it really bangs, then I think we're in good shape. But if it flops, I'm a little worried. But I do think EA realized that this is their chance to right a lot of wrongs and to really make a game that can redefine their image in terms of the customers, because people don't like EA. People have a very negative perception of EA, not including their other games, but EA is not seen on a high level. So if if this college football team can really knock it out of the park, I think this can really spark a resurgence for EA. And I have no stake in EA. I don't buy no stock in them. I don't really care if they fall off. I mean, to be honest, I don't hope they fail because I like having a college football game, and unless if someone else is going to pick up the dev work, I don't want to have to wait for another 20 years to get a new game. So I'm hoping that this EA College Football 25 is just the start of many things. And again, if College Football 25 has some features that are missing, but the foundation is good enough, we'll be fine. So that's really my take, guys. I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you feel, how you feel in the comments down below. This has been really more of a conversation, so let me know your thoughts. And also, like, subscribe if you want. You don't have to. I would appreciate it if you did. Not a big deal. We're a growing community, and I'm very, very thankful for every one of you guys. But other than that, this has been Jagnal, and I will see you guys next time.